Let me begin by saying that I'm delighted to join you today at the first edition of the Africa Early Childhood Network International Conference on Early Childhood Development. This conference, without doubt, will provide us an opportunity and a platform to share knowledge, exchange experiences, strengthen and build new collaborations to scale up best practices in early childhood development. Ladies and gentlemen, as I'm sure we're all aware, early childhood development is an important period for every child that is marked with emotional, physical, and social development. The global community has collectively agreed that investing in early childhood development has potential huge returns on our children. Evidence has shown that children who have experience in quality early learning programs stay longer in school and demonstrate better learning outcomes. The Journal on Health, Series 2016 on ECD, highlights that the first 1,000 days of a child's life are critical for brain development, with an emphasis on the most fundamental promotive experiences for a child in the early years of life. Therefore, ECD is no doubt one of the best programs that a government can invest in for the good of individual children and their communities, but also for sustainable, broader progress, prosperity, and development of countries. I would like to turn my attention to a more domestic issue, which is our national examinations. And I would like to confirm today that my administration has taken bold steps to ensure that we have a credible examination process building on our success last year. I commend those who have worked long and hard hours to ensure that we have a successful examination. And in equal measure, I condemn those who insist on corrupting our educational system, and I assure you that we are coming for you. Our future as a nation depends on the quality of our students and professionals. This is what we depend on for our future, and we will continue to protect our children from unscrupulous conmen and women, for that matter. As for all the candidates who will be participating in this year's exams, I take this very early opportunity to wish them success in their exams. The African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child promotes and protects the human rights and basic freedoms of African children, recognizing that children require specific safeguards and care. This is echoed by our own Constitution and also by our own Kenya Vision 2030. Ladies and gentlemen, early childhood development and education in Kenya is currently guided by the National Early Childhood Development Policy Framework of 2006. Broadly speaking, the objective of this policy framework is to expand and to improve comprehensive early childhood care and education, especially for the most vulnerable and disadvantaged children. This policy framework is complemented by the pre-primary policy that Ambassador Mina has just talked about of 2018 that offers guidelines and guidance to all pre-primary education service providers. Without a doubt, this is an exciting time for Kenya with regard to ECD. The devolution of pre-primary education and child services to the county government aims at ensuring provision of quality and equitable education across the country. The government has shown goodwill in the formulation of policy frameworks and regulations that support provision of quality early childhood development services. Additionally, our own country's Vision 2030, as a roadmap to our country's economic development, shows that Kenya has achieved low middle-income country status. Therefore, Kenya can serve as an example for the African region in many ways. Furthermore, as a government, our focus on and commitment to the implementation of strategic reforms to strengthen the pre-primary education subsector has also resulted in notable achievements. Specifically, there has been an increase in enrollment of preschool children from 2.7 million pupils in 2012 to 3.3 million in 2017. This has increased general enrollment rate from 69.4% in 2012 to 77.1% in 2017, and an increase in net enrollment rate from 64.2% to 76% over the same period. Again, as has been stated, our target is to ensure that all Kenyan children are able to attend ECD by the year 2020, but my request to these wonderful ladies sitting here is please ensure you put pressure on your spouses. Let's do it by next year. Similarly, the number of teachers trained in early childhood education has risen from about 80,526 in 2012 to 106,938 in 2017. Overall, more than 80% of the pre-primary teachers are trained. Despite this tremendous growth of pre-primary education, the Kenya Early Childhood Development subsector still faces a number of challenges. These include lack of cross-sectoral collaboration, a high child-to-teacher ratio, poor physical infrastructure, and inadequate teaching and learning materials, limited play spaces and play equipment, as well as limited capacity for developing professionals in the subsector. To address some of these challenges, my administration has taken steps to, 1, support research and knowledge sharing to inform policy and practice, 2, to work with our county governments in the coordination of early childhood education, and 3, to develop an integrated early childhood development policy to ensure coordination of services across ministries as well as departments, and to address emerging issues in ECD programming. Other measures include incorporating pre-primary education into short and long-term educational and training plans, such as the Midterm Plan 3 of 2018 to 2022 and the National Education Sector Plan of the same period. The importance of a multi-sectoral coordination and collaboration to enhance the delivery of quality ECD services, however, cannot be understated. It is important to note that delivery of pre-primary education in Kenya is a devolved function, and I take this opportunity to acknowledge the efforts of county governments that they have made to expand and improve access to quality early childhood education services, especially the recruitment of various cadre of ECD personnel, and also with regard to improvement of physical infrastructure. I call upon county governments to ensure that these efforts are augmented through strong partnerships and collaboration with various sectors based on mutual trust, transparency, and accountability. Moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, the Kenyan government commits to take a keen interest to ensure realization of Target 4.2 of the Sustainable Development Goals, which is to ensure that by 2030, all boys and girls have access to quality early childhood development care and pre-primary education so that they are ready for primary education, end of quote. I call upon all governments and partners within the region to ensure access to quality integrated ECD services for children and their families, to improve maternal and child health care, to ensure that our children have good nutrition, and to that I thank you, Governor Sonko, and also that all our children are registered at birth and have access to clean water, proper sanitation, for a holistic development. Collaboratively, we should all ensure that no child is left behind by deliberately targeting children from deprived communities with priority to the most disadvantaged young people so that they access quality childcare services, start school at the right age, and are prepared to learn and grow with the support of their parents as well as their communities. I emphasize the importance of multi-sectoral collaboration and partnerships with all sectors to maximize on the gains of these foundational early years. As a government, we are committed and ready to work with all partners and governments going forward. I once again take this opportunity to thank all countries and development partners for their participation in this conference. We look forward to continued conversations, collaborations, research, and commitments towards jointly creating the Africa we want by improving services for children right across our continent.